Okay, uh, staff, this is Mr. Galt. It's a Sunday morning, and I'm recording this in preparation for our meeting on Wednesday morning at 7:15 in the Innovation Academy. We're going to talk about the why and why we're having this work session. Uh, First of all, we are looking at goals for this meeting, and we have a philosophy here at Team LJH to learn together and lead together. And if our goals are together, we are doing that. We are learning together, and then we are leading our school together, not in isolation, not one teacher doing their own thing, but all of us together. Also, as a learning organization focused on what is best for students and increasing student achievement, we have to have a focus. And this work that we will do is the right work. And it's important that we've established a focus and that we're going to be doing the right work in impacting student achievement. So the first thing we're going to do is look at some data as to why we're doing this work. The first thing here, you can see that this is our current 8th grade students in English language arts and their I-STEP trend from 4th grade to 7th grade. And we can see here that it is a downward trend where 91.3% of the students passed English language arts in 4th grade, down to 81.5% this last year. Although for our school that is up the amount of students that are passing, but for this cohort of students it is a downward trend, which is speaks to one of the reasons why we're doing that. We're going to continue to look at data. Here we're going to look at our math trend, okay, of our current 8th graders. In 4th grade they're at 94.1, and now they're at 90.4% passing, which is not as deep or as a decrease in cohort data, but still a decrease. And if we continue to move down, we have our the current 9th graders, so those kids that took the test with us last year as 8th graders. They, since the 5th grade, they've increased a little bit across the board, actually, in English language arts, but you can see that they've pretty much stayed the same or decreased a little bit in 7th and 8th grade. And then for our math and the 9th graders, last year's 8th graders, we can see that in 4th grade or in 5th grade they were 90.5%, and now they last year scored an 81.2% of those students passing. So that is still a dip across 4 years in math as a cohort. So looking at data, we know we have some work to do so that we do not see cohorts dip while they are in 7th and 8th grade. So that led us to some work through data, past I-STEP data for our cohorts of our 7th graders and our 8th graders now, to see if there are some things that we can work on. Our language arts and math departments did that work, and what we were able to find is that our current 8th grade students, nonfiction informational text, only 41% passed that part of I-STEP, and literary text, only 10% passed. And in 7th grade, nonfiction informational text, 42% passed, and literary text, only 33% passed. And then the performance indicated on the 2013 I-STEP test for math, problem solving, our current 8th graders, only 9%, 3 out of 34 students passed, and in 7th grade, only 0 out of 38 passed. And that is of those students that did not pass. Remember, we are targeting those did not pass students, those same ones that are having an impact on our cohort data because they passed at one time and now they are not passing. So it goes to our school improvement goals. In English language arts, Team LJH will increase the percentage by 10% of the do not pass students passing both nonfiction informational text and literary text as measured by the 2014 ISTEP test. And in math, Team LJH will increase the number of do not pass students by 10% in the area of problem solving on the 2014 test. We also know that even though we are targeting the do not pass students, this work is good for all students. And we don't want some of those students that are passing not to pass next year, so that we need to take our work not only towards the do not pass group, but to all students. So how does this connect with what we currently do or will be doing? Well, you're going to hear a lot in our January Professional Development Day corporation-wide about complex texts, or tasks, complex tasks. What tasks are students doing? What are we asking them to do, and what are they actually doing? And we need those tasks to be complex in nature. Abundant amounts of reading, writing, and discussing lead to tasks being complex. And also we know that Conley's intellectual standards, if we develop tasks that are built around those standards, such as read to infer, interpret, draw conclusions, support arguments with evidence, resolve conflicting views encountered in source documents, and solve complex problems with no obvious answer, we can get to both the comprehension, which was an area of concern or one of our goals, and the problem solving in math. But we've got to continue to learn as a staff how to develop and create those complex tasks for students. We also know that check-ins, what gets monitored gets improved. So how are we going to monitor our work towards our goals as a school? Well, our work in triads. All teachers must participate in the triads through the lens of our goals. Okay, so what does that mean, through the lens of our goals? Well, as we are giving feedback and we are closely examining other people's lessons, we need to have a look at those lessons through the lens of our goals. How are those tasks targeting comprehension and problem solving in all classes? Collegiality, that's what we're currently doing, and we're challenging ourselves to be more collegial, and that means challenging each other to develop tasks that target comprehension and problem solving skills. Okay, give that collegial feedback, not necessarily that congenial feedback. And then look at data. How do we know what we're doing is good? Often we think we're really good, which a lot of us are, might be, maybe not, but we got to know why, and we got to know, how do we know that we're good? So we will continue to look at data, whether it be ISTEP data, Acuity data, Ames Web data, or so forth, common assessment data. How do we know that what we're doing is the right work? So as we approach this work session on Wednesday morning, this is the why that we're doing this, and all these goals. Okay, the two school improvement goals can represent the goals for the language arts and math department for their evaluations, and then everybody else's goal needs to be tied to those two goals, somewhat linked to those goals. And then together we can learn together and we can lead together. Thank you. One other thing, I guess, to frame the work that we are going to do. The next step, which is what we'll work on Wednesday, will be creating tasks or looking at what we can do in our classrooms across the board that will target comprehension and problem solving. What are some things that we can do, some practices, some strategies that we can use in our classrooms? And as groups, you will be developing those strategies, and then we'll vote on certain strategies to take school-wide. Thank you, and have a great day.